My name's Lauren, and this is our very first video on this channel, so I thought I'd tell you what we're kind of going to do with it. It's just kind of like a place where we can go and rant about stuff that we fangirl about. So, what I'm ranting about today is books in a series, why I hate reading books in a series and why I absolutely love reading books in a series, because it's kind of like, there's a lot of reasons to love and to hate it. You have the same characters the whole time, and you just get completely attached to them. You feel like you're a part of the story. Harry Potter is what made me fall in love with reading. Like, I had liked reading before, and I was a good reader, but this series is what made me fall in love with reading. It was the first fandom I was a part of, and I can't explain how much this series means to me. If you've read Harry Potter, you understand what I'm talking about, and this is what made me fall in love with series reading. And it's also what made me hate it. When I finished these, the first thing I did was pick it back up and read it again, because once you finish a series, you feel like you can't read any other books. You just go into this state of like, oh my god, I need to keep reading these and there's no more books, what do I do? So after I finished Deathly Hallows the first time, I picked Sorcerer's Stone right back up and started reading it again. So you just get a little bit too attached to it, which is a good and bad thing because you feel so like engrossed in the story, and then once you're done with it, you don't know what to do with yourself. If you start a series late, you can get in, like you can read the entire series all at once, and you don't have to wait for a book, which is awesome because waiting for a book is like the worst possible thing ever. So Percy Jackson, I started reading Lightning Thief, I keep holding him backwards, when I was in like 4th grade, and I kind of stopped reading for a little bit, but I had already read The Lightning Thief, and then once I got to 6th grade, I started reading the rest of them, and by that time they were all already out, and so I was really happy, because then I could just finish all of them. If you start them late, you can finish them pretty much all in one sitting, which is what I did with these. I read them really fast. One really terrible thing about series is that if you start them and you fall in love with them, and then there's a book that hasn't come out yet. Yeah. Started reading these, The Hunger Games, in 6th grade, and Mockingjay was not out yet. Actually, neither was Catching Fire. I started reading The Hunger Games, and by the time I was done with this, Catching Fire was about to come out. So by the time I was done with this, I didn't have to wait long for Catching Fire. So I got Catching Fire really fast. But then I read Catching Fire, and Mockingjay didn't come out for about another year. So what was I supposed to do? Then I had to wait until the summer before 7th grade, summer before 7th grade, to get Mockingjay. And when I got it, my brother freaking read it first! So I couldn't read Mockingjay until my brother was done, and he was going around telling me all this stuff that he was like, oh my god, you're gonna hate it, you're gonna be so sad. And I was like, God, just let me read the book! So then, me and my mom read it at the same time, so that was fun. I didn't get to read it as fast as I would have wanted to. Waiting for a book is probably the worst thing ever. I need City of Heavenly Fire. I need it right now. I need it! Because I finished this book last week. Yeah, last week. Oh my god. I need City of Heavenly Fire. I can't bring myself to read anything else. I can't think of any other characters except for the ones in this book, in this series. This series, oh my god, it's beautiful. I need City of Heavenly Fire. Waiting for a book is the worst thing ever! And another bad thing about reading a series is that you can't get into just a standalone book, like Fangirl. It took me forever to actually get into it. I got halfway through the book and I was like, where's Jace? Where's Clary? I was like, where is everybody? And it was just really bad. And I've done that with plenty of books. Once I finish a series and I'm like, this book doesn't have Percy in it, or Harry, or Katniss. Like, where is everybody? These aren't my characters. This isn't how it works. So, going back, my favorite series that I've ever read, Harry Potter, very first series. I loved it. I couldn't put it down. I read Order of the Phoenix, which is the longest book, in 4 days. So there's that. Percy Jackson. I liked these books. These are probably out of my favorites. It's probably last of my favorites. I started reading these books in 6th grade, so I was like 12 when I started reading them. And I still love these books, but now they kind of seem almost like juvenile to me, which I'm not saying that in a bad way. They just seem like they're more towards a younger audience, and I would definitely read them again, but I feel like I couldn't connect to them as much as I did whenever I was that age, because Percy's 12 in the first book. So I just feel like now, me being older, I probably couldn't relate to them as much as I did whenever I was that age. And then we have the Hunger Games series, which is definitely in my top 3, probably right behind Harry Potter, because I am in love with these books. I still am. I read Hunger Games in 6th grade and I finished in 7th grade. I was young. I didn't understand these as much as I do now. These books are just so great. And for all of you people that hate on Mockingjay, I don't know how you could hate on this book, because I know that it doesn't add up to these two at all. And there's some stuff in this book that happened that made me want to throw it across the room. But it still was a great ending to the series. Maybe it's because I like Peeta and Katniss. Everybody hates on this book, and it just kind of irritates me, because this is a great trilogy within itself. Don't hate on Mockingjay just because it didn't end how you wanted it to, and some stuff that happened. Everything that Suzanne Collins, like it or not, she did it for a reason. So I'm one of those people that actually really enjoyed Mockingjay, and I'm really excited for the movie. Although Catching Fire was definitely my favorite book, the trilogy as a whole is definitely one of my favorites, and I think it would be my favorite if it would have been longer, if it would have been more than 3 books. I love that it was a trilogy, but I also hate it because I want the story to continue. The Mortal Instruments. I am missing City of Glass right now, but these books, I only started reading them like a couple months ago. I'm in love with them. A lot of people don't like these either, and I'm just like, you know what? Why don't you give it a chance? I know City of Bones kind of starts out kind of confusing, but you gotta keep reading. I promise. They're so good. And I need City of Heavenly Fire like right now. I'm about to go insane, but I still have the Infernal Devices, so that'll probably be on my favorites soon too. But these books, they're just great. Read these. I love these books. I love all of the books that I showed you, but these books that I've been reading recently they're great. They're great! Those are pros and cons and me rambling about books in a series. So, yeah, I'll try and update this channel as much as I can about all the stuff I fangirl about, because I fangirl about a lot of things, not just books. So, goodbye!